Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another video on the Occupy Hollywood Network with your host, Jacob Erie. Me, right? And we're here with another movie review. I really enjoy making these. Never thought that making videos would be so much fun, especially when nobody's listening. Well, we have like 8 subscribers right now. I mean, I looked at YouTube analytics. One of those videos went from 0 views to 25 views. This is a big deal, guys. This is a really big deal. It's going to be nice to look back on these videos once, the channel gets more and more growth. So that's going to be awesome. Anyway, we're here to talk about another beloved hybrid movie, movie that mixes real people with animation. Hence, the classical movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit. This movie, when I first saw it, I used to think that this movie was like for adults only. And if any of you guys have seen this movie, you would know why. It's only because of one character. But no, I'm like, dang, this is like a really, really good movie, and I really like this movie a lot. The thing with this movie, it has a very it has a very noir theme to it. The soundtrack, the aesthetic, the locations, which I think is really neat. I'd love to live in like a noir style, like, I don't know, even like there's a video game called Mafia. I'd love to live in like a town like that. They should just build like a new town like that. You know what? Knowing people and how people always disappoint us, I'll just build it. So to be determined where and when one of these days. But I think that Who Framed Roger Rabbit is a really, really fun movie that honestly, there's one part of this movie, I don't know, I don't have any kids, right? But I'd like to think to myself as like, someone who wants to be a good father, obviously. But since like I don't have any kids, I don't know if I would ever let my kids watch this movie. And listen, okay, to any of the moms out there and all the fathers, this isn't a bad movie at all. It's not like family. It's not in the realm of Family Guy or South Park or anything. But there's like this one part where one character, let's just say they face their fate, and I'm like, would that ever traumatize like a young kid? Now, if I think about me when I used to watch this movie, I don't remember how old I was when the movie when this first came out, but I don't think it traumatized me. But I'm me, right? I'm not other kids. But that's like a nothing burger side note. I'm just saying. Now, with this movie, I really like the guy who stars in it, who is obviously not with us anymore. What's his name? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? He's a really good actor. I've seen him in other stuff. Oh, Bob Hoskins. Yeah, Bob Hoskins was quite the actor. Yeah, he was a really good actor, actually. And Christopher Lloyd is in this movie. And if you guys know who Christopher Lloyd is, he's the old scientist from Back to the Future. He's also, what's his name? In Addams Family. Starts with G. Addams Family. He's also Uncle Fester, right? Uncle Fester and the Addams Family. And, me being spooky gothic guy I am, or a gothic poser that I am, I really love the Addams Family. So Christopher Lloyd is always like what a great addition to the project. And so I think one of the things that I think this movie has going for it, really good villain, and it has a really strong theme, right? The sequences are really cool. I do believe that I would have preferred this movie to be longer, because how long is it? It's like, what? An hour and 43 minutes? I mean, that's not short, but, I mean, 30, I think, I always tell myself that I would never make like a 3 hour long movie, because I feel like, one, people don't have the attention span to pay attention that long, especially because of how social media has gone the way it has. And two, I mean, there is such a thing as like overstaying your welcome, right? Both figuratively and literally. And I think movies do this a lot. And one of the things I think a lot of filmmakers don't realize is that if you don't have enough substance or lore or things going on in your movie, there's like the spectrum. It's like a balancing act. On one end, you could be having so much going on that you're biting off more than you could chew, or there's not a lot going on and then your movie feels very hollow or lackluster. And those were bad. Those were very bad things. But I think this movie could have done a lot more exploration of the world. I would have liked to see a lot more different aspects of like the world, and like maybe not even just like the regular human world, but like the what's the world called? Toonville? Toon World? Toonland? Geez, I remember. I forgot what it's called. But where all the animated characters are from. That would have been fun. And it really gives Cool World vibes. And everybody who watches my reviews or knows me knows how much I love Cool World. And Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I used to think that Who Framed Roger Rabbit was what was it? I used to think that it was a movie that wasn't a Disney movie, right? But lo and behold, it is a Disney movie. I just thought it was like its own little thing, just like how Cool World was its own little thing. But I think Roger Rabbit, I love Disney. I love going to Disneyland, all that stuff. It's fun. I know people were like, Disney adults, like, how could they? Like, how dare they have fun, right? All that bullshit. But the thing about Roger Rabbit, it's interesting because it was like around the same time where like Star Wars and Tron and all these different franchises were coming into play, and like beginning like, you know, they didn't exist before, but like they were like their own little interesting little pocket of pop culture. And I tell you, I think Roger Rabbit is a very underrated thing, because a lot of people have gripes of like too many sequels and remakes and reboots being made, and then like also just like squeezing the life out of franchises and IPs, and then also like retconning things, and then, you know, virtue signaling with them as if they're like some kind of like platform or whatever. But I think Roger Rabbit is one of those things that like you could really make I think you could make a really neat streaming show with it. Now Bob Hoskins is obviously gone, so that's kind of the unfortunate part. But, you know, there's lots of talented people in this world, more than anyone could count, and I think you could find someone who could really elevate that material. You could even do it like where a thing was like, since Roger Rabbit hasn't been in theaters forever, maybe make like a movie that's like its own thing in that same universe, or even like the sequel to this, and then make the streaming show. I think there's a lot of ways you can go about this, and that would be well received. Just my personal opinion. But you know, who's my favorite character? I don't think I have a favorite character. But I do like the dynamic between Bob Hoskins and Roger. What's Bob Hoskins' character's name? Eddie Valiant, right? The tragic story of Eddie Valiant and what happened with him as being a detective. You know, the classic police procedural kind of thing. I mean, this isn't a procedural, it's an anime movie, or it's a movie. But I think I'm trying to think of things that I would change about this movie. Now, I already said I wish it was longer, just because I think it's that cool and I like it. You know, the villain's great, the protagonist is great, the side characters are great. Now, this might be an unpopular opinion, but like Jessica Rabbit, I don't know. I just don't really care for that character, and plus like she looks ridiculous. Now I'm not trying to like body shame or anything, right? But like, I just think like, I don't know. If I made a Roger Rabbit sequel, I don't think I would have Jessica Rabbit in it. I would just say she was like unalived. I don't know. Can you say certain words here on YouTube? I don't know. TikTok has made me very like PC in terms of like things I can say, so it's like confusing. That being said, Roger Rabbit is kind of like, you know, the voice actor. I always thought the voice actor did a really good job because, like, you know, I don't remember if someone told me this, but I always thought, I think someone told me, or I read somewhere that like Roger Rabbit was supposed to be like some kind of like parody or satire comparison to Bugs Bunny. And I think it's really interesting that, you know, Disney, of all companies, could make something like that. Because Disney seems to be like, you know, knowing Disney, they always want to like toe the line of like, we can't do this, we can't do that, we have to like follow like the code, the tradition, and all this other stuff. Or it's just kind of the sentiment they give off. There's actually this Disney, it's like a Disney horror animated movie that they like tried to like bury, and it's like about Mickey Mouse. And I'm trying so hard to figure out where I can find it because I think I can buy it on DVD, but I'm trying to figure out how I can get it on a digital print and stuff like that, and so that I can react to it on my channel. But I don't know, Disney being like, you know, Disney, I hope you don't hear this, but you guys kind of are like a you kind of have all those lawyers and those legal demons, and I don't know. But let's be honest, they're not the only one. Sony, Universal, they're all like that. It's like you can't even play music on here for like 2 seconds. Rightfully so, wrongfully so, who knows. But Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, I really like the score. Sometimes I find myself listening to music of like certain franchises or movies and stuff. And I think Roger Rabbit is one of those things because I think with me being so into mid-century music, the score of this movie is kind of leans into that classical noir mid-century kind of thing. Mid-century, it's such a fascinating thing. It's so interesting to see the phenomenons that pop up because of like cultures, wars, media, all this other stuff. Now, to rank Who Framed Roger Rabbit, how would I rank it? You know, 6 out of 10 seems unfair, but 7 out of 10 seems way reasonable. So I'm gonna give Who Framed Roger Rabbit a 7 out of 10. Also, subscribe to the Occupy Hollywood Network because these are my movie reviews, but we got a lot that's gonna be coming on to this channel. Gonna hopefully try to get to 150,000 subs before the springtime.